Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I'm Kirti Sophia Panachan and in today's session we'll be learning about verb. Let's begin by learning what a verb is. A verb is a word or a combination of words that indicates action or a state of being or even a condition. It is the part of a sentence that tells us what the subject is performing or has performed. We could say that verb is the heart of a sentence in English. Let's look at the examples. Jacob walks in the morning. Mike is going to school. Albert does not like to walk. Anna is a good girl. In all these sentences, we could see that an action is taking place. Verbs are related to a number of other factors also. They are subject, person, number, tense, mood, voice, etc. Moving on to the basic forms of verbs, and we all know that there are 6 basic forms, and they are base form, infinitive form, past tense, past participle, present participle, and gerund. So examples are also given. In the base form, we could say that children play in the field. In that, play is a base form of a verb. In infinitive, tell them not to play. In this, to play is the infinitive verb. And past tense of a verb is they played football yesterday. In that, the verb played is in the past tense. Past participle form, I have eaten a burger. In this sentence, the verb eaten is in the past participle form. Present participle, I saw them playing with him today. In this sentence, the verb playing is in the present participle form. And the last one is gerund. Swimming is the best exercise. In this sentence, swimming is the gerund. Let's look at the different types of verbs. There are 6 different types of verbs, and they are, the first one is finite verbs, non-finite verbs, action verbs, linking verbs, auxiliary verbs, and modal verbs. Let's look at the first category of verbs, that is the finite verbs. Finite verbs are verbs which are called the roots of sentences. It is a form of verb that is performed by or refers to a subject. It uses one of the 12 forms of tense and changes according to the number or person of the subject. Let's look at the example. Alex went to school. In this sentence, Alex is the subject and he has performed an action, and that action is in the past. So that is why we have put the verb went in this sentence. The next example is he is one of the best players. In this, the verb is and it directly refers to the subject of the sentence. The second one is non-finite verbs. Non-finite verbs are not actual verbs. They do not work as verbs in the sentence, and they rather work as nouns, adjectives, adverbs, and all. These type of verbs do not change according to the number or person of the subject, because these verbs, which are also called as verbals, do not have any direct relation to the subject. Sometimes they become the subject themselves, that is, the non-finite verbs become the subject. The forms of non-finite verbs are infinitive, gerund, and participle. Let's look at the examples. Alex went abroad to play. In this, the infinitive is to play. Playing cricket is his only job. In this sentence, playing is the present participle form of verb. I have a broken bat. In this sentence, broken is the past participle verb. Walking is a good habit. In this sentence, walking is a gerund. Action verbs. Action verbs indicate what the subject of a sentence performs. It can make the listener or reader feel emotions, sees senses more vividly and accurately. Action verbs are further divided into two. They are transitive or intransitive. Let's understand what transitive verbs are. Transitive verbs must have a direct object. It demands something or someone to be acted upon. Let's look at the examples. I painted the car. In this, the verb is paint and it demands an object to be painted. That is, it demands the car to be painted. Let's look at the next example. She is reading the newspaper. In this sentence, the verb read asks the question, what is she reading? And the answer is the object, that is the newspaper. The second one is intransitive verbs. Intransitive verbs do not act upon anything. They may be followed by an adjective, adverb, preposition, or another part of speech. Let's look at the examples. She smiled. In this sentence, the verb is smile and it cannot have any object since the action of smiling does not fall upon anything or anyone. The second example is I wake up at 6 a.m. In this sentence, there is no need for object for the verb. The next type of verb is linking verbs. A linking verb adds details about the subject of a sentence. It connects the subject and the complement, that is, the words that follow the linking verb. It creates a link between them instead of showing action. Often, what is on each side of a linking verb is equivalent. The complement redefines or restates the subject. Linking verbs are called be verbs, which are am, is, are, was, and were. However, there are some other verbs which can work as linking verbs, and those verbs are act, feel, remain, appear, become, seem, smell, sound, grow, look, prove, stay, taste, and turn. Some verbs in this list can also be used as action verbs. Now we understood what linking verbs are, and in a sentence, if we want to figure out which one is the linking verb, we have a small trick that we could use. That is, we could try replacing these linking verbs with forms of the be verbs. If the changed sentence makes sense, that verb is a linking verb. That is, look at the example. She appears ready for the game. In this sentence, appears is changed or replaced with is. She is ready for the game. In these sentences, we could see that in the first sentence, appears is replaced by is. That is a form of be verb. And even when this is replaced, both the sentences' meaning remains the same. So we could say that appears is a linking verb. Look at the next example. The food seemed delicious. The food was delicious. In this, seemed is replaced by was, and even after replacing the word or the verb, the sentence's meaning remains the same. So we could say that seemed is a linking verb. You look happy. You are happy. The same thing happens here also. Look is replaced by are. The sentences have the same meaning, and hence look could be considered as a linking verb. The next one is auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs are also called helping verbs. They extend the main verb by helping to show time, tense, and possibility. The auxiliary verbs are be verbs, have, and do. They are used in the continuous and perfect tenses. Linking verbs work as main verbs in the sentence, but auxiliary verbs help main verbs. Do is an auxiliary verb that is used to ask questions, to express negation, to provide emphasis, and more. Let's look at the examples. Alex is going to school. I have seen a movie. Do you drink tea? Please do submit your assignments. In all the above examples, we could see that the auxiliary verbs are is, have, and do. Moving on to the last one, modal verb. A modal verb is a kind of an auxiliary verb. It assists the main verb to indicate possibility, potentiality, ability, permission, expectation, and obligation. The modal verbs are can, could, must, may, might, ought to, shall, should, will, and would. Let's look at the examples. I may want to talk to you again. They must play their best game to win. She should call him. I will go there. In these examples, the modal verb may, must, should, and will are used. So that's all for today. I hope today's session was fruitful for you all. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to share this video with friends who love to learn. Once again, thank you so much. See you again in the next session. Bye-bye.